Okay, this is the Change and Grow Wellness Show. And I'm your host, Jackie Grant. And tonight's show, we're going to be talking about postpartum depression and how exercise can help. And we have our guest today, Ashley Vipond, who's going to tell you a bit more about herself and how she's got to where she's got to. But she's going to be really talking to us about postpartum depression and letting us know exactly what it is and what we can do in order to make sure that we don't suffer from it, and also, if you are, what you can do.
For
So,
sure.
guys, welcome, Ashley.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you, Jackie, for bringing me on. So, just a quick bit about me. So, I am obviously I'm a mom, and I am a prenatal and postpartum fitness trainer, a certified health and wellness coach, a certified fitness nutrition specialist, and a group fitness instructor. So, anything that goes along with the body and health and wellness is what I love to do. It's my passion. I started this. I always been an athlete, but I started really getting into health and wellness after I had my son, which brings in postpartum depression. I actually did not know I had postpartum depression when it actually happened to me. So I have a really cool, interesting story, and I'm sure Jackie will ask some questions leading into that. But what had happened was I had went through all of the channels. I had basically had a mini break, like nervous breakdown, which led to me believing that I had something wrong with me, which turned out to be postpartum depression. I attended therapy, went through medication, and I can definitely dig into that more with you guys. And then from there, an angel. I call my nurse. I think she's a nurse. She's a nurse, but she's a therapist. I call her my angel. Her name is Judy. She's wonderful. She reintroduced working out to me, so it wasn't new to me, but she brought it back into my life. And I started going to the gym one time a week, and then I worked my way back up until I was like, I have to share this gift with everybody. I don't ever want another mom to feel like I did, alone and isolated, and I wanted to give them a positive outlet. So that is why I do what I do.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is postpartum depression?
So postpartum depression can sometimes be confused with the baby blues. So after you have your child, your baby, obviously you have a lot of hormones. You're a new mom, hormones are surging. Your body is now in that like space where it's going to try to like put itself back together, I guess.
Yeah.
So basically, what'll happen is your hormones will drive you to have different behaviors where you're either feeling sad. Angry is a big one that people don't recognize as postpartum depression. So you can feel angry, you can feel disconnected from your child. You can have intrusive thoughts, which are thoughts of like, so for example, like if you have your toaster on and you left the house and you're like, oh my goodness, like if I have the toaster on, it's going to burn down the house. You're having like irrational thoughts or thoughts that just
Mm,
come to you out of nowhere. You have a hard time sleeping. You don't want to hang out with your friends. So they're different. So if the symptoms last for only a short period of time, I want to say it's for like a week tops, you could be in that phase of when you're in the baby blues.
mm,
Anytime beyond a certain point is when you start treading into waters into your postpartum anxiety and your postpartum depression. So like I said, some very similar symptoms to a regular, I guess, quote unquote depression, but there's a lot of different symptoms, and you're working on taking care of a baby at the same time, so things can be a tad difficult.
mm. Okay, brilliant. Thanks. I'm sure that's brought some clarity for people in terms of what it is and what the symptoms can be.
For
So,
sure.
why do some people suffer from it and others don't?
It's going to be a mixture of your hormones. A lot of women do go through in your surroundings. So, for example, it could be hormones. Like me, like I'm blessed enough to have a good support system, and my husband and my mom came to help me take care of my baby, so I wasn't going through that much duress. But what was distressing to me was I was at the time managing Pilates studios, so I was working 60 hours a week. I was
Right.
trying to balance being a new mom. I was trying to do all of these things, and on top of that, you pile on your postpartum pregnancy hormones. Things get a little rough there. You feel a little bit
Mm,
isolated. You're not doing the same things you do. Your friends may not come back around, or you may not have that support system. So it's a mixture of hormones, and then also it could be a mixture of your environment. So you may just really be feeling isolated, like you don't have the help that you need, or that you're not connecting properly with your baby.
mm. So, how did you overcome? I mean, I know you said that you went through some therapy. So, how did you actually come to the realization that that's what you were going through? How did that come to fruition?
I had no, like, so Jackie, when I tell you, like, I was an angry person. I was angry, and I've never been a really angry person in my life. Like,
Mm,
I get irritated, and a lot of women don't recognize anger as a symptom
mm,
of postpartum depression. You don't think about that when you think of depression. You think of a sad face. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, she's sad," but I was angry. I didn't want to ever get out of bed. I was tired. I didn't even want to talk to my husband. And I know you go through an adjustment when you guys first have a baby, like where you guys are like kind of trying to figure it out. You're both new parents, but I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to have anything to do with him. I didn't want to call my friends or anything. And so one day I was driving to work after my baby had his first cold. And of course, I felt like the worst mother in the world. I don't know why at the time. I could think about it now, but like, so I was driving to work and I literally just couldn't breathe for a second. I started hyperventilating and I pulled it over to a parking lot, and I called my mom and I was just crying and I was telling her, like, I don't know if I want to come home. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I don't know if I want to come home. And that's
mm,
when she called my husband and he picked me up out of this random parking lot and he was like, I think you need to speak to somebody. And at the time I didn't know what I had. I had an inkling maybe something was off with me. Like, I'm like, maybe it's just the hormones, like I'll get over it. But
mm,
after speaking to my OB, he was like, it sounds like you have symptoms of postpartum depression. A lot of hospitals over here, obviously in the US, um, they check you out for everything else. They make sure you have a lactation consultant. They make sure that you have diapers, you know what formula is. But they kind
mm.
of skip out on the questions of like, they ask you if you're feeling okay. And you're like, yeah, I guess. Like, I'm feeling as
Yeah.
good as I can feel taking a stranger back to my house. But I'm
Yeah.
okay. And so from there, my OB told me like what I possibly had. He recommended me to a therapist who specialized, obviously, with working with women. There was a wait list actually, so I had to see the nurse counselor, and actually she was wonderful. She did a way better job actually than the psychiatrist.
Right.
Who I did not continue my relationship with the psychiatrist, but she literally talked me through the steps of having boundaries, making time for myself, where these ideas were of like, you see those Pinterest moms where their houses are perfect and like their hair is perfect and their makeup's on, and nobody lives like that 24 hours a day. That's stressful.
Yeah.
She had to break those things down for me in order for me to understand that I am okay and that my baby's alive, and that even the fact that I even took the step to like check on him and myself, you're already loads and loads ahead of a lot of other people out there. So
Yeah. Good. 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 So okay. So that was a realization with your husband, seeing that there was something wrong, and then you went through the process and got to how did you get to the exercise part? How did exercise come part of it?
yeah, so I needed a positive outlet. If you would have asked me, I know there's people probably like me too out there somewhere in the world where like, what is your hobby? I'd be like, I don't know. I don't have one. Like watching Netflix, I guess. So I
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have one. And so she was like, well, think of a time in your life where you felt the most happy. And I was like, man, I used to run track and I used to play intramural soccer and do all of these things. And I was like, I was killing it at work because I literally was in just such good shape and felt good about myself. She goes, why don't you just go to the gym? It's across the street from the office. And I was like, go to the gym? Who has time for that? Like, I'm tired, lady. And I'm like, I can barely keep myself together. And so I actually downloaded an app, and that's where I started. I was like, I'm just going to run 0.25 miles today, and that's going to be it. And so I started by literally working my way through an app. And from there, I was like, I feel amazing. Like, I feel good about myself. I lost the weight, but it's just not about the weight. The weight is just a after thing that happens to you. But I lost the weight. Like, my skin cleared up. Like, I was nicer to people. I wanted to have friends again. Like, exercise brought me to a place where I wanted to expand and share myself again with the world versus like being isolated and just staying inside of my head.
Yeah. Brilliant, brilliant. And is there any specific exercise that you think helps? I mean, obviously we know that all exercise gives you the endorphins, but was there anything that helped you?
Yeah, if you are feeling isolated, I would definitely recommend group classes. Group classes are amazing. You just have to find the one that works best for you. So
Yeah.
anything that's going to, and obviously a lot of moms have different conditions. So I don't know if you have like an ab separation or if you have C-section pain, whatever that is, your instructor, if they're certified, should be able to help you.
Yeah.
But literally I started off with group classes because they got me around other people and I got to feel the freedom of just like not worrying about myself and someone telling me what to do. From there, I started doing more structured workouts. So circuit-based workouts are workouts that are set to a timer. So
Yeah.
I literally can do them for 20 minutes or I can do them for 15 minutes, like just because that's the only time I would have in the day. And then from there, if you still are super serious about like getting it done, like you want to lose the mommy pouch that we all have sometimes, and you want to literally tone up and you just really want to learn more about your nutrition, then that's when you would kind of seek out like professional help from somebody like myself or another fitness professional or a physical therapist of that nature.
Yeah, definitely. No, you're right. A community helps. If you start off with going to a group class, it's more of a community based, and people get to know each other. People get to, maybe even meet each other outside of that
Right.
situation. So, it's always a good place to start off. So definitely, you're so right. So, is there any other tips that you would give someone? Say they feel like something's going on, they're not really sure what it might be. They've just had their baby, and you were lucky enough to have that family support. Someone may not have that. What would you say to them?
I would say never put your health on the back burner. So there's things that you can always fix. So like you can always get a new job. You can always, I don't know, get new clothes, new things. Like, but your health is the one thing that belongs to you. And without it, you have no you. So if you do have an inkling of a feeling that you're feeling irritated, don't don't chalk it up to being an angry mom. Or if you're feeling like you're isolated, don't chalk that up because like you're too busy to have friends. Literally take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of your baby second. So that's why they have you people like secure your oxygen mask on the plane first before you put a mask on someone else, because you can't take care of someone else unless you take care of yourself first. So don't be afraid to reach out to people around you. And if it's not your OB, you're not comfortable with that person, there are so many other health professionals out there. Like, not just don't think doctor, think like outside the box, right? Like health coaches, specialists like myself, physical therapists, even like your regular physician you see for checkups. All of us can literally guide you to the right place. Do not be shy, because you cannot be shy when it comes to your health.
Definitely. Thank you, Ashley. Definitely seek out, people seek out what you might need, and there are doulas as well that help. So make sure
doulas, midwives.
that you find some kind of support that would help you through that process. So thank you, Ashley, for coming on. Where can people find you? What's your email? What's your
you guys can find me at www.simplyfitwithashley.com. You can find me on Instagram at simplyfitwithashley, and then you can also find me at my Facebook group, the Fearlessly Fit Mom Society. You do not have to be fearlessly fit to start out. So don't be scared. I'm not over there doing like push-ups off a jungle gym or something. Literally, we're talking about everything postpartum, pregnancy, nutrition, and we're bringing all those pieces together to get you the results that you want.
And that's a free group, yeah?
Free group, yeah. We just hang out in there and we talk about important things. I go live, and then I tell you guys about like what I'm working on.
Brilliant. That's great. So thank you, Ashley, for coming on tonight. It's been really informative. It's really, talking about your journey has been really, really, fascinating, and really, I'm sure it will connect with someone, and they'll be in touch with you.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to helping.
So guys, take care, and thank you for being on tonight, and we'll be on next week.
All right, guys. Have a great one. Bye.